Wow, so that's what's very unique about your story cast here is that it wasn't that you just started your own e-learning platform because you could have easily just said, "I'm just gonna go after companies that just and just do their e-learning for them," like you said, transform their in-person training to e-learning and screw everybody else. But you actually found also another one for you could almost call them rivals or competitors, but actually helping them out developing their thing as well. So it shows that because I think for a lot of small business owners, someone gets uber competitive for certain things and they feel like they can't share anything. But I think we can all agree on that. Sometimes there's way more clients out there than maybe we can all handle at once. Right? Like, I use the old personal training analogy when I used to be a personal trainer. This is before before the online training thing came in, was, you could only train so many people in a given day.
Yeah.
And how many people need at that time training that you gotta share it. I mean, there's no way to you can't do everybody at once. So it's nice to see that you're very, you're friendly to your rivals as well as to the clients themselves. So how big of a team do you guys have right now?
Right now, my development team is so my model is very unique. We have a very lean system, right? Usually, an e-learning would have project managers, they would have graphic designers. When I say have, I mean have on their payroll, right? So they would have project designers, they have uh, managers, all the way the whole corporate ladder kind of thing,
Typical structure, yeah.
right? And that carries a lot of overhead with that. So one of my strategies was if I was going to go in, I got to go very lean so I can compete at price at the same time as quality. And so my approach was I have a core team of a lead developer, a lead graphic person, a lead video guy, and myself and few others. So 4 or 5 core teams. Everyone else, I have a pool of developers on my access. Right. So I get to pick them from project to project basis. That's the arrangement I have with them. So there's a bunch of freelancers that I work with. They're in my network. So whenever a project comes, I give them a heads up. They bill me by the hour. So if you consider my pool, that is more than I would say 50 to 100 people in the pool doing different kind of things. But the core team that makes the decisions, that looks after the business, that makes sure the lights are on, everything is on, is about 45.
That's a very unique, kind of thing, which is good. I think a lot of people have this issue is they try to, either one, they're gonna be so hesitant to hire anybody because no one else can do this job better than me, or two, that, they hire, like you say, too many, and now they're stuck with, like you said, all this extra overhead, and I like your approach of, like, grabbing a few key people and have a pool of other things that other resources you can pull from depending on the project, right? So, and is it all, I assume it's all based on skill set of this pool, right? Because, for certain projects, even though it may be an e-learning kind of tool, it's going to differ what's required project to project, right? So if you know a particular resource is stronger in one area, okay, we'll use this person for this project, and for another one, maybe someone else altogether, right?
Exactly, exactly. And you get that flexibility with having access to so many people and so many talent, right? And I'd share another story to kind of connect the dots here. Um, when you said having a small team is so when I started Cryogenation, it was just me running the show, right? That's when I realized that I at the beginning, like you said, I said, you know what, I'm a rock star, I can do everything on my own, right? But as it happens, 8 months into it, got burned out, right? And obviously, there's so many things you got to do, a lot of things in your head, so it couldn't scale as a small business. I had to shut my shop basically because I didn't have a team. And then right after that, I actually did open a community organization, right? It was called the Baloch Club Canada. It was the idea was so Baloch is actually also a nation. There are a lot of people just like Italian, Chinese, and also Baloch are kind of like a nation. So we have a small community here in Ontario. So what I try to do is organize that community and just create a platform where we can all. The vision was to really bring everyone together. But what happened was this time I thought with cryogenation I didn't have a team. Now I'm going to make a huge team. So I reached out to every member of the community. We almost had a team of like 20 people initially. And that too didn't turn out as I expected because it was hard to align everyone with your vision if you have such a huge team, especially to start with. So that project didn't go as expected, and so now, I went back to my job, and then when I started my e-learning company, Logicubes, I thought, you know what, I can't expand to 50 people, but at the same time, I don't want to start with just one. So I had to find the right balance that I can sustain and keep the expenses low while I was building my portfolio, while I was growing, while I was scaling. And then that's when the idea of a hybrid model of a sort came into my mind, having a core team that makes the executive decisions. It's always lean, right? That one decision making gets faster, um, becomes efficient, uh, overhead is low, and then you have always have this access to this pool of resources and talent that you can pick on any day and time.